So what we are going to learn today is all about nouns which appear in the construct form. There are two ways you can understand the way how the nouns are placed in a phrase. Either they may appear in the absolute form or construct form, absolute state or construct state. But before learning about that, we have to understand a concept which is called as segolades. Certain nouns are called as segolades. Why certain nouns are called as segolades? It is very much you know visible, or it is very much there in the name itself. That means those nouns will be carrying segol, right? So nouns that carry segol are called as segolades. But there are some exceptions are there. Let us understand what type of nouns are called as segolades. Number one, segolades are basically bisyllabic nouns which exhibit the following characteristic features. Number one, in the singular form, they are always accented in the first syllable. The first syllable of the segolate nouns will be accented. When I say it will be accented, it will carry munna. And the vowels of the accented syllable will be either A class vowel, E class vowel, or O class vowel. So the first point to remember about the segolate is that segolate is a bisyllabic noun where the first syllable will be accented, and the accented syllable, that is with munna, will carry either an A class or E class or O class vowel. The examples here: Mavet. Okay, so I thought the goal will be there, but let's wait and see. Mavet. So the initial syllable is accented. The first example, comet, is there. So according to the rule, it can carry either an A class vowel, E or O. Here it is A class vowel, meaning death. Elef, not Aleph, it is Elef, meaning 1000. The first syllable is accented, and the first syllable which is accented is carrying an E class vowel. Ohel, meaning 10. The first syllable accented, and it is carrying an O class vowel. So segolades are basically bisyllabic nouns which will express the following characteristic features. In the singular form, first syllable will be accented. The accented syllable will carry either A or E or O class vowel. Now coming to the second rule. The second syllable will usually have segol. The second syllable will usually carry segol. However, it can be replaced by a pata whenever the middle or the final consonant is a guttural. The second syllable will always carry a segol. But if the middle or the last consonant, final consonant, is a guttural, then it will be replaced, the segol will be replaced by pata. Melek. Okay, this is a typical example for segolate. Melek. Initial consonant is accented, it is carrying segol. Second syllable is carrying segol. This is an this is a typical example for segolate. Next example, Nar. Initial consonant accented, carrying A class vowel. Second consonant, second syllable is carrying not segol, rather it is carrying pata. Why? Because either the second or the third consonant will be a guttural. In this case, both the consonants, second and third, are guttural. Sefer, book. Initial consonant, initial syllable carrying munna. Sere is there. second syllable carrying second. Boker, morning. First syllable accented, second syllable carrying second. So in all these cases, if you see, in most of the cases you see the second syllable will carry second, unless and until the second or the third consonant is a guttural. So the plural forms of, yes.
In Sefer, the resh is considered as a non-guttural here.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So two rules only. Segolates are bisyllabic words. The initial syllable will be accented with munna. It can carry either an A class or E class or O class sound. Second rule, the second syllable will usually carry segol, which is one of the characteristic features of segolates. But in some cases, the second syllable will carry pata when the second or the third consonant is a guttural. Now, how to see the way how segolates are written in the plural form? In the plural form, they will carry the same features. How we, how the masculine plural nouns are there. For example, masculine plural endings will be added to the segolates. For example, masculine plural nouns that begin with non-gutturals. Beget, begadim, here acute and final mem. And because of the vowel changes are there. Okay, initial syllable is carrying, initial letter is carrying Shiva, simple local Shiva. And then you see the second syllable is carrying Kamets. And then you see the third syllable is carrying Hirakyoth and final mem. So Beget becomes Bekadim, Boker becomes Bekarim, Ba'al becomes Be'alim, Sefer becomes Sefarim. Okay, some sort of uniformity can be seen here, where on the left hand side you can see that the initial consonant base is with the segol, base is with Holland, base is with patab, and samak with sere. But when they become plural nouns, there is a sort of uniformity. So plural nouns that begin with non-guttural. Then feminine plural nouns that begin with non-guttural. Delet, door, delator, nefesh, nefashor. So the ending is colon, bob, and ta. And the initial consonant will carry Shiva. The second consonant will carry Kamets. Same rule like the masculine plural ending for the masculine, segolate. In case, if the masculine plural noun begins with guttural, only thing is the guttural will carry, composite or compound Shiva. Hevel, Hawalin, Chesed, Chasadim, Ever, Abadim, and feminine plural nouns that begin with guttural. Evan, Avanim, Eretz, Aratzot, Cherev, Harabot. Okay, so only
what
thing is,
happens with tone?
which one?
Avanim. Is it an irregular form?
No.
Feminine, no? Tones?
Yeah, it is an irregular form. The ending is not feminine plural, but masculine plural, because this comes under the category of nouns only. So the
So
same
is there a way
feature,
to find out? No.
like,
I mean, is it just we have to memorize all these things? Is there another way to find out, like, because in the other lessons we learned only Arim and yeah, only two the Nashim, two were
As
there,
far
which
as
were
possible, you can memorize, but then um, usually, we can use the lexicon. Even when we are trying to, translate and find out. Now there are so many, technological help we can take. Okay, but then the problem is when students, they don't know the logic, they don't know the grammar, and they take the help of the apps and other things, they will not be able to understand why it is appearing, what is the reason, how these changes are taking place. So that's why grammar is important. After learning the grammar, so we are free to take the help of any resources. And then dual nouns. That means there are also singulates. For example, feminine singular nouns referring to parts of the body appearing in pairs. They are also singulates in many cases. And when they become plural, there is no plural form for them. There is dual ending for them. The only thing is almost, the dual ending will be there. Accented pata, yod, hirak, and vowel changes will be there. For masculine plural, if you see, it is the initial consonant which is taking the Shiva. But here, if you see, sorry, for the dual endings, if you see, the initial consonant is not taking the Shiva. Okay, there is a reason. The initial consonants are taking vowels only, and there is a vowel change. The second consonant is only taking Shiva. The reason is in Holambab and Tau and Hirak, and final mem, it is only one syllable. But here, if you see accented pata, that becomes one syllable. Yod, Hirak, and final mem. That is the reason this vowel change is taking place. All right. We have just 5 minutes, so let me explain one of the important things with regard to the absolute construct relationship. The Hebrew nouns will appear both in absolute form or absolute state and construct state. What we see in the lexicon or in the vocabulary list is basically the absolute state, not the construct state. What is construct state? Construct state is the shortened form of the absolute state. Okay. And why this absolute construct states are appearing, we will know that bit by bit when we see the examples here. Who is? Okay, he is a man. So here, if you see independent personal pronoun with a noun, and we have added the verb to be. He is a man. Who is Elohim? He is a man of God. How come in the translation we have added of? When a noun stands in the construct state, the translation will be of along with that word. So that means we will come across nouns placed together, either two or sometimes three and sometimes four. In that case, when the noun is in construct absolute relationship, the first noun will be in the construct state, and while translating, that will be in the shortened form of the absolute noun. The second noun will be in the absolute state, and the shortened form in translation, the word of will be used, okay, which is expressing the possessiveness. Man of God, man of God. Okay. So if you see here, Ish is in construct state and Elohim is in absolute state. You may ask me, Ish is not showing any difference. It is not a shortened form. So that means there are nouns which will have the same form, whether when it appears as an absolute noun as well as a construct noun. Okay, but then basically I want you to understand this thing, that when two nouns are placed together, in many places, the first one will be in the construct state and the second one will be in the absolute state. A construct relationship may be defined as the joining together of two, occasionally three, but rarely four nouns within a sentence. The joining may be either by simple juxtaposition or by the use of makam. That means this chain of nouns, sometimes they will appear separately or will be joined together with the help of makam. For example, if there are two nouns, the first one will be in the construct state and the second one will be in the absolute state. If there are three nouns, the first one and the second one will be in the construct state, the third one will be in the absolute state. If there are four nouns, first, second, and third will be in the construct state and the last one will be in the absolute state. The son of David, the father of, like, it will keep on adding off. So the final noun in such series must remain in the absolute state, while the noun or nouns that precedes it must take the form of the construct state. Here you can see the differences. Kol Haish. Okay, in the last letter there is a mistake, so please don't mind. It is carrying Dagesh Forte. Dagesh Forte should not come. Okay, while typing there was a mistake. So Kol Haish, that means the voice of the man. All right. So the translation shows that Kol is in construct state and Haish is in absolute state. So that's why in the translation, along with voice, we have added off. So Kol, absolute state, construct state, same form. So you would have noticed in the previous example also, Ish, same form. So that means easily we can understand that monosyllabic nouns with unchangeably long vowels, both in the absolute state and the construct state, they will be in the same form. There will not be any change. Look at the next example. Here also one vowel is missing. Sorry. Ben David. Ben David. What is the difference there? Manoj, in Ben, what is the difference there?
Bain is in the same condition. No, Segol has come.
Instead of Sere.
Segol has come instead of Sere.
Exactly. So that means I said the construct state is the shortened form of the absolute state. That means if there is long vowel, it will be
becomes
shortened. So when you come across two nouns where the first noun is monosyllabic with a short vowel, you can understand that it is in the construct state. If it is carrying a short vowel, it will remain as it is. Only the context will help us to understand whether it is in the construct state or absolute state. So that is why in the translation we have made it as the son of David. The next example.
So here it is Ben David. So how come we are putting the definite article there?
Yeah, those things I will teach you later on. But since you have asked, let me tell you. In Kol Haish, all the nouns that are in the construct state will not take definite article.
Okay.
When there is a definite article in the absolute noun, that is applied to the construct noun as well.
Okay.
So the voice of the man. In the case of David is a proper noun. So the proper noun will not carry definite article, but it is implied.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
That is why it is shown in the translation.
Yeah.
The son
Okay,
of
sir.
David. The son of David. And in the construct absolute relationship itself, if it has to be mentioned as a son of David, then again another change will take place. Before David, there will be Lamed Sheva, which will be an indication that it has to be translated as a son of David. Okay, that we will see later. So this
Okay,
Dibre is the plural form. Devarim has become Dibre. Banim has become Bene. So this is what I said. Construct state is the shortened form of the absolute form, absolute noun. So you see here, Devarim is masculine plural. Hierectioth and final mem has become Sereioth. So for feminine plural noun, holem and tau, that holem and tau will remain as it is. Okay. So the rules we will learn on Wednesday. Just wanted to show you the glimpse of how this construct and absolute state nouns are appearing. For example, here, Dipre ha navi, the words, that is plural form, the words of the prophet. Bene Israel, the sons of Israel or the Israel. Okay. So see here, when the masculine plural ending noun has to be placed in the construct state, in the place of Hierectioth and my final mem, Sereioth will be there. So there may be vowel changes also. Okay. So what are all the vowel changes that will take place? Those things we will see in detail in the next class. So don't worry about what we have learned today. Just keep in mind that nouns will appear both in construct state and absolute state, and they will be placed together in the adjacent position. In that case, the first one will be in the construct state and the second one will be in the absolute state. Okay, let me give you one example and conclude. Sometimes two nouns will appear together, but it may not be in the construct absolute relationship. For example, David. Okay, David, Amalek. David, Hamelech, Israel. So David is a noun. Melech is also a noun, but they are not in construct absolute state. In this case, the first one is David, noun, and the second part is giving additional information about the first noun. David, the king. So we have to be clever in discerning whether this is in the construct absolute relationship or in another state which we call it as apposition. Okay, where after the first noun, the second noun will give additional information about the first noun. Okay, so about that also we will see. So it is a lengthy lesson where we will be seeing the changes that are taking place when the singular nouns are placed in the construct state and plural nouns are placed in the construct state. So first we will start with the plural nouns, which will be much easier, and then we will look at the singular nouns with bisyllabic and monosyllabic nouns. All right. So that's all for today. Please revise whatever you have learned. And now, if you find time, there is no homework. If you find time, please use the same question paper. Try to attempt once again. Those who have not done well, right? And try to learn out of it. All right. So practice makes perfect. Okay. So thanks for your patience. Good night and see you on Wednesday evening, same time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.